Love begins with support, so before watching, please like and subscribe. Now enjoy the video. Ariadne. How did you gain such knowledge of theology? I read the books in your study to pass the time, Father. You mean to say you taught yourself? The insight she displayed was hardly befitting that of a self-taught 15-year-old. I suspected that he might be doubtful. Yes, Father. I was particularly struck by Wycliffe's Reflections on the True Nature of the Holy Son, and Pelagian's Letters on the Study of the Trinitas. Did you finish them both? Wycliffe focused on semantic structure, highlighting the repetition of the phrase, the Holy Son through the Holy Father, in the Book of Meditations, thereby proving that the Son and the Father are one and the same. It's an obscure treatise for now, but it becomes an essential read for all nobility in a few years. I hold a scripture study with a number of priests in the great chapel. Would you care to join us? I can't reveal my hand so soon. I wouldn't dare impose, Father. I'd be embarrassed to show the shallowness of my learning. I would much prefer to continue studying at home and ask you questions as they arise, if I may. As you wish. You may leave. That could have been much worse, I suppose? Ariadne. Does he still suspect something? Yes, Your Eminence. Well done, Cesare. Poor. Have you heard the latest on Cardinal de Mere's second daughter? She's a devout believer. She's the hero of San Carlo. She's following in the good Cardinal's footsteps. It seems the entire kingdom of Etruscan is enamored with the girl. Glug. Cesare, you have a duty to choose for yourself a spouse who is highly virtuous and wise. Remember, you are to ascend to the throne one day. Wake up, mother. Alfonso has an iron grip over the throne already. I am under no illusions as to my chances. Ha! There you go again. As I've often told you, your father's love for you knows no bounds. Oh? Is that why he condemned me to the life of an unland noble to rot within the palace walls? The son of a king bestowed a measly Count Dom. Shatter, do not raise your voice at me, boy. It was not so long ago I bore you inside this very womb. Yank. You will be king. Turn. Palace gossip has it that His Majesty plans to bestow the heart of the deep blue sea upon the girl. The heart of the deep blue sea. Do you know why I've coveted the stone all these years? Yes, I know. You were once foretold the future by a fortune teller. Quite so. The seer told me that the one who possesses the heart of the deep blue sea shall rise to the throne one day. In time, I became the king's woman, and I delivered him a son, just as the fortune teller said I would. What I mean to say is, I do this for you, no one else. Bring me the heart of the deep blue sea. In recognition of the courageous display of faithful devotion at the great Mass by the second daughter of His Eminence Cardinal de Mere, Her Royal Majesty Queen Margaret shall bestow a gift upon her at the palace of the Queen. You must behave yourself and avoid trouble at all costs. Do you understand? Of course, Father. I'm surprised he personally escorted me here. The Queen herself has invited me on His Majesty's behalf to grant me a reward. My sole intention was to avoid my betrothal to Cesare, but now the matter has gotten out of hand. Perhaps it's a tad bland. Even a single flower might brighten up the ensemble. Let's see. I remember there being peonies in the rear courtyard of the Queen's palace, Ariadne. Over here. Oh. Alfonso? Come up here, Ariadne. Oh dear. I didn't mean for you to sully your white dress. Perhaps you should have thought of that before you called me up here. Ariadne. Would you care to climb up here for a moment? Into his lap? Surely this is far too forward, even for a prince. No, what are you waiting for, Ariadne? Alfonso represents your only chance of escape. From Cesare and the de Mere family alike. He's your golden ticket. Gulp. Be a bump. There. Now, that ought to keep your dress clean for now. Of course, I should have suspected as much. By the by, what brings you to the palace, Ariadne? I'm scheduled for an audience with Her Majesty the Queen today. Oh, I see. So, today's the day. Father speaks the world of you, you know. He even says it's a crying shame he can't grant you a knighthood. A shame, indeed. I always wanted to be a knight in shining armor. Did you truly? I suppose so. In that case, I will knight you myself one day. Oh? Perhaps I'll be swearing an oath of allegiance to you then? Ahem. I swear upon the sanctity of my soul to pledge my everlasting loyalty to my liege from this moment on. I shall protect and honor him in the face of any hardship or strife, placing the well-being of my liege above my own life. I will speak nothing but truth to my liege and keep my oath under the watchful eyes of our Lord God. My service unto him shall be undying, unchanging, and unwavering to the end of my days. I must say, that wasn't so bad. Glad to hear it. With bright and loyal people like you by my side, I might become a half-decent king after all. In my previous life, I lured Alfonso into a trap and led him to his demise. How brazen of me to swear an oath of allegiance to him now. If he learns that I wronged him so in my past, Alfonso might even grow to hate me. Pity. I would rather enjoy governing alongside you. And he certainly would never smile at me again. Watch out. Catch. Are you all right? Thank you. You ought to be more cautious. You're right. What is this feeling? Suddenly, my heart feels, what were you doing in the garden before I found you? This isn't the way to Mother's audience chamber, you know. Ahem. Oh, that's right. I was looking for a flower to decorate my hair. Turn. I was worried that my outfit was a little drab. Drab, you say? Lean. I find it rather striking, actually. Huh. And not at all. I should have worn some jewelry to add some glamour. I must be the only lady to seek an audience with the Queen in this sorry state. Oh, it wasn't my intention to say so much. Oh. I see that's been weighing on your mind. Would this suffice? He used his jacket decoration and tied my hair himself. It's because of his unembellished and innocent nature. Does it look odd? I'm a novice. I appreciate it. Alfonso. That in the name of His Majesty King Leo III, I hereby bestow the following upon the second daughter of Cardinal de Mere, with the hope that her service to our great kingdom shall continue. You may approach. I never thought His Majesty would give this to you. May I ask what it is that His Majesty wishes to bestow upon me? You will receive 50 ducats in gold, a box of ornaments chosen by me, and above all, the heart of the deep blue sea. Your Majesty, I cannot possibly accept such a gift. I beg of you, Your Majesty. Why would she refuse such a generous gift? Does she not see that it's an honor for her family? Rightfully so. A treasure like that is almost too good to be a family heirloom. It might be a great honor and privilege for someone else, but it's essentially a threat to my life at the moment. All those who want the jewel for themselves will be out to stab me in the back. Ariadne de Mere, of course I understand. However, I'm afraid His Majesty wills it. This is for you. Since you have no power to protect the jewel by yourself, I advise making all those who are obsessed with the jewel come to a standoff. In other words, I would have them keep each other in check. However, I imagine it's easier said than done. If so, Your Majesty, pardon my impertinence, but could I possibly trouble you for a favor, Your Majesty? You may. Tell me your concerns. You shameless girl, you shameless girl. Gulp. That's not one favor, but two. She bought it. Besides, those are hardly difficult wishes to grant. Not only that, for your own benefit, I've also prepared a similar gift. A gift? You're exceedingly kind to this young lady, Your Majesty. One might almost feel jealous. Perhaps it helps that she's a quarter-century younger than me. I find her youth and innocence rather charming. She reminds me of your younger days, Your Majesty. She's almost as witty and demure as you were. I see. You may have the right of it. However, I certainly hope that fate treats her more fairly than it did me. Are these the jewelry gifted by Her Majesty the Queen? Oh, how pretty! Just look at these amethyst earrings. Mother, don't you think they perfectly match the color of my eyes? Indeed! It's as if they were made for you, Isabella. Ariadne, do you mind if I keep these earrings? They look so stunning on me. I'm sure the earrings themselves would lament adorning any other ears than mine. What is she talking about? She's right, Ariadne. There's no better way to spread joy than to share. And I will hold on to the 50 ducats on your behalf until you have need of it, since it's too large a sum for a young lady to handle. Isabella. Mother. I would like nothing more than to share my newfound fortune. But I'm afraid I'm not at liberty to do so. What? If you'd rather be greedy, you should say so plainly. That's not what I'm saying. Her Majesty gifted these personally to me. From Moore. From MDB to ADM. And had both of our initials engraved on all of these ornaments. As you know, giving away a royal gift of this sort without due permission is punishable as an insult against the royal household. What? Oh, and Mother. What is this? I hereby acknowledge the receipt of 50 ducats in gold, on behalf of Rambouillet Shelter, Queen Margaret. The entire sum has already been donated in my name to Rambouillet Shelter, which operates under Her Majesty's authority. Why you? How could you cast away that money? Have you no regard for your family's plight? Shake. I felt that it was a small price to pay for our family's good name. Her Majesty herself commended the de Mere family for our service to those less fortunate than us. How dare you answer back at me, you rude little girl? Lucrezia! Why am I not surprised to see you acting this way? I see I was right to rush back. Have you any idea how many prying eyes are scrutinizing our household right now? Shout. Do not let your petty greed blind you, lest you humiliate yourself as you did before. Now, Ariadne, I'm told you've been granted the heart of the deep blue sea. Let us open it and take a look. Good heavens! So, this is the most precious jewel in the entire kingdom. Ariadne, I wonder how many ducats it would fetch. What a beautiful stone. Since you have no safe of your own, I suggest you let me keep it in the safe inside my study. What do you think? Father. I mean, why isn't IT here yet? Hurry. Hurry. In my opinion. Hurry. Knock. Here it is. I have come to deliver the royal order of Her Majesty, Queen Margaret. Her Majesty recognizes that the second daughter of the de Mere household has been bestowed a gift of priceless value by His Majesty the King. As such, Her Majesty is also sending a safe dedicated to its storage, to be installed in the de Mere scion's bedchamber. On that note, which room would that be? It's the attic room on the 3rd floor. No! It's the westernmost room on the 2nd floor. My love! But that room belongs to Ippolito, your own eldest son. Shoo! You've caused quite enough damage to our reputation already. I will not have you add to that the unsavory rumor that we keep our daughter in the attic. This is perfect. Smirk. Time to move into my new room. A bedroom with its own study? It seems being a cardinal's eldest son has its privileges. Once I return home, my family will seek to take your gracious gift from me, Your Majesty. If it would please you to write me a receipt to say that I donated the entire 50 ducats to Rambouillet Shelter, I will put your gift to good use when it's needed. The first thing I will do with that money will be to purchase a dedicated safe to store your gifts, Your Majesty. All you have to do is give the order for it to be installed in my room. In other words, Rambouillet Shelter will be my own personal bank. I must admit, I was surprised that the Queen granted me such a huge favor. And what priceless gifts she gave me! From MDB to ADM. I'm glad Isabella won't be getting her hands on any of them. That went much more smoothly than I'd imagined. Knock. My lady. There was another messenger from the palace. He asked me to give this to you. A messenger from the palace? I'll be around if you need me, my lady. A note, oh, how splendid! The sheets are so soft and cushy, my lady. Come, Sancha. You ought to have one of the new maids do that. I have not one but two, after all. Absolutely not, my lady. They've got a long way to go yet. I shan't trust them with anything that touches your body until they prove themselves. They're allowed into the study and no farther. Suit yourself, Sancha. Arabella? Humph. Don't think for a moment that I came here to play. I'm only here to keep an eye on you and make sure you're not up to any funny business. She must have been bored. I don't blame her. No one in this household seems to have any time for the girl. Ippolito is the cardinal's only son and the eldest. Isabella is the cardinal's pride and joy that he can wed off to a powerful household. As such, those two receive all of Cardinal Idamenduekia's last name and attention, whereas Arabella is seen as somewhat of a nuisance with no apparent value as of yet. I pity her. I should humor her at least. I see her holding a lute. Do you like to play? Humph. You clearly know nothing about me. I'm a prodigy of the lute. Oh? I never knew you had a gift for music. I'm quite the composer, too, I'll have you know. A composer? You mean that was an original piece that you composed yourself? Miss Arabella, that was amazing. Humph. It's hardly impressive, ahem. Judging by your obvious talent, perhaps you could ask Mother and Father to buy you a different instrument to play. I imagine that a pipe organ might be better for composing with. As a matter of fact, I do need a pipe organ if I'm to arrange this piece to play at Mass. But Mother says it's too expensive to buy for a mere girl to play. That's why she won't buy me one. It's not like Isabella's ever going to play the organ. Even so, you should try to persuade Isabella to ask for one. If it comes from Isabella, I'm sure Mother would approve without a word. So, she knows her parents love Isabella more than her. On second thought, why must I feel pity for a child who has everything that I never had? She should be grateful, if anything. Dear sister. What is it, Arabella? Would you mind asking Mother if we could buy a pipe organ? Arabella, you know that a pipe organ isn't some child's toy to be bought and sold for your own amusement. Such extravagance is a sin that reflects poorly on a lady of good standing, you know. It's not an extravagance. I'm going to use it for my music. Surely Isabella's expensive foreign-made makeup and trinkets are much more of an extravagance. Still, it's entirely in character for her to be a brazen hypocrite. Isabella. Frankly, I was struck by the sheer beauty of the hymn that Arabella composed. It far surpasses anything that one might expect from a child her age. Arabella, would you care to play it for us? HHUH? Oh, sure. You mean, you really wrote this yourself? Of course. For what purpose? It's a hymn to be played at a Mass. I have yet to finish it, though. I see, Arabella. Shall we have a little sisterly chat? Among real sisters, I mean. Ariadne, could you give us a moment? Arabella, a family's reputation is only as good as that of its most worthy member. You understand, don't you? What I mean is, my glory is yours and yours is mine. After all, we're full-blooded sisters. I hear that the young Lady de Mere is going to be playing a hymn that she wrote herself for this Mass. Oh my! How talented those de Mere girls are! One is quite the accomplished theologian already, and now another has shown herself as an aspiring composer. She's of both beauty and the gift of music. Quite the exceptional combination, indeed. Isabella de Mere is such a gifted debutante. Thank you for coming. Oh, Camellia! You're early. I wouldn't miss it for the world, Miss de Mere. I must thank you for the invitation. Of course. This is my first recital of an original. Who else would I invite other than you, a renowned connoisseur of music? And I see you're accompanied by your fiancé. Ottavio, it's been quite some time. You're as radiant as ever, Isabella. Best of luck, Miss Isabella. Thank you. Humph. Now, shall we begin? Ariadne. I won't let you steal the limelight again. It'll all be mine once more. I'll take back all the glory she stole from me. Droop, this is so perfect. Now I can play as much as I want and rearrange my piece for the Mass. But I can't help but wonder. Why is it that Isabella always gets what she wants, yet I'm never quite good enough? I see you finally have the pipe organ that you wanted. So, in return for having Isabella ask Mother for a pipe organ on your behalf, you agreed to let her announce your hymn under her own name, correct? And? Does it feel good to get what you wanted? Ding. I don't know. But I don't know why Isabella said she'll only help if she gets to play my song in her name. That's wrong, isn't it? Sadly, people don't always do the right thing, Arabella. But Isabella's my full-blooded sister. She might be mean to you sometimes, but she wouldn't do that to me. Oh? Then why is it that you were never allowed to have a pipe organ until Isabella suddenly wanted one? Mother and Father know full well that Isabella has no interest in musical instruments. Aren't they your parents too? Haven't you ever wondered why your tutors set the pace to Isabella's progress when you're a much faster learner? Arabella, the longer you stay silent and refuse to make a fuss, no one will ever know that you've been wronged. Don't you see what happened? Isabella stole your music from you. Stop. Stop it! I won't have any more of your nonsense. You might be flying high for the moment, but that doesn't give you the right to insult my sister. My mother and sister both love me with all their heart. And what's more, I'm a true demare, unlike you. You're nothing but a fraud. I was in denial once, just like she is. After all, facing the truth would have broken me. But I can't be the one to save that child. I've done all that I can for her. Now, let us begin. Wow. Done. Oh no, what do I do? I must have mixed up the scores somehow. Clap. Thank you, Miss Demare. That brings us to the end of the recital. However, I do hope you can satisfy our curiosity. There's a rather unusual part in the middle of this melody. May I ask what your intentions were with this segment? Why, I'd hoped to place extra emphasis on the melody at that part. I see. That seems like a bold choice to make. Even so, the beginning of the pipe organ solo feels incredibly out of place. For one, the scale suddenly shifts from C to A. Most instrumentalists would struggle to cover the range with one hand, so it was difficult to play this part in practice. Miss Demare, would you mind demonstrating this part for us? Are you asking me to play the score myself? No. Isabella doesn't know how to read sheet music. Call yourselves professional musicians, and you can't even change scales? You should be ashamed. I need to have her back. Hold on. That version of the score must be missing the string instruments. The change in scale wasn't intentional. It would be impossible to play it by hand, obviously. There's simply a segment missing from this part. That's why I changed it like this. Wait. I thought Miss Isabella composed the piece herself. I knew it. No one ever said Isabella Demare has any talent for music. How could she steal her own sister's work? How brazen of her. A moment, please. It seems there was a misunderstanding of sorts. This piece was composed by these two sisters in collaboration. Isabella came up with the overall motifs, whereas Arabella took care of the details. Since Isabella made her own contributions to the piece, in fact, since it's fair to say that she was the main composer, I hope that our esteemed guests won't be spreading around untoward hearsay. Is that really the truth, Madame Lucrezia? Count Cesare, good to see you, Cesare. Likewise. It's been too long. Kiss. Since I last beheld such beauty, Isabella, I see that our time apart has simply added to your radiance. I expected nothing less of San Carlos Ferris Rose. Indeed, a rose has no other calling than to be fair. What I'm saying is, it will do you no favors to be struck with envy and strain to mimic the petals of a different flower. You'll only be blemishing your own. Like today, for example. Struck with envy? I know not what you mean. Well? Did you not? Why should I feel envious of someone so beneath me? I don't recall mentioning a particular name. Yet you seem to have someone in mind already. I see your intellect matches your looks. How impressive, gentlemen! Are you not impressed with Miss Demare's stunning display of intellect? Now look, Count Cesare, I came here to be enchanted by musical delights, but here I am entertained by a different spectacle altogether. If that's it for today's amusements, then I shall take my leave. I bid you good day. Bow. What are you all gawking at? Out all of you! Cesare, my dear fellow, what inspired your sharp tongue today? I'm not sure what you mean, Ottavio. Come now, I thought you were rather taken with the young Isabella de Mere. Was I mistaken? I am. What of it? She's a woman of pride, the eldest de Mere daughter. Though, I must admit, her face more than makes up for it. Still, winning her back over might prove quite the challenge. Tell me, is this one of your ploys to have her chase you, or could it be that you're no longer interested in her? Since when have you known Count Cesare de Como to cower at the sight of a woman and bite his tongue? Ugh! If she covets my company, then she'll learn to live with my words. Either that, or she'll have the sagacity to keep me from rebuking her so. That's put me in a foul mood. I could use a drink. I shall ride ahead. Join me at the salon. That obstinate tyrant. Mother! How am I supposed to carry myself in public now? Did you see how Count Cesare looked at me? The sheer contempt in his eyes. Not to mention the other noble debutantes. What if I become an outcast of high society? My poor darling daughter. Now, there's no cause for tears. Why couldn't you keep your mouth shut? Yell. No, Mother, I just thought Isabella was in trouble. Besides, the piece was about to be played with the wrong score. What does it matter if some lousy hymn is played wrong or not? Your sister's reputation could be in tatters. Can't you see that? That's right. It's your fault that they're saying such slanderous things about my song. Your song? But that's my song. What? I wrote that piece myself. You stole it from me, Mother. Mother, you have to believe me. I wrote the song myself, then Isabella took it as her own. The whole world thinks it's hers, but you have to know the truth. Arabella, you dare talk back to your sister? Mother, your dear sister is the crowning jewel of high society and our family's pride and joy. I shan't allow you or anyone else to stand in her way. I'll hear no more of your wretched little tune. Do you understand? Now, apologize to your sister at once. But it's Isabella's fault for stealing my composition in the first place. If she hadn't, she wouldn't be in this mess right now. I see you refuse to see the error of your ways. I've done nothing wrong. Arabella, come here. We hereby extend to your esteemed personage our most cordial invitation to the art exhibition at the Salon. With the compliments of prominent merchants from the Republic of Porto, the Salon is pleased to showcase priceless works of art on the last Friday of August. The exhibition will be attended by luminaries from many noble households, including His Royal Highness Prince Alfonso himself. We hope to present a valuable opportunity for you to make plenty of lasting acquaintances. To Lady Ariadne de Mere, with my highest regards, Marchioness Alejandra de Chibot. Will Alfonso be there? Miletta! Were there no other invitations in the mail? I'm afraid not, my lady. Ariadne, do you plan on attending Marchioness de Chibot's salon? I mean, I wouldn't dream of telling you not to go, but this is a rather delicate time, don't you see? For one, you haven't even had your debut yet, and you won't be allowed to attend without a chaperone. She's not wrong, once for, you're quite right then. Speaking of which, it's about time that Ariadne had her own debutante ball. A debutante ball, Father? How could she possibly have her debutante ball now? This year's season has already ended. Father, are you suggesting Cervantes? Each year in April, noble sons and daughters gather amid the spring blossoms to visit the royal palace and pay their respects to the king and queen. Those who are unable to attend the subsequent ball due to their travels or ailments sometimes hold debutante balls of their own to announce their formal entry into high society. However, this was a special privilege usually reserved for high-ranking members of the aristocracy. Surely she's not worthy of such an honor. Your younger sister has as much of a right to represent the de Mere household as you do. Once she formally debuts to society, she'll face fewer restrictions, which will allow her to raise our family's standing even further. If she's getting her blasted debutante ball no matter what, then I can at least stop her from attending Lady de Chibot's salon. Oh, how unfortunate. That means she won't be attending Marchioness de Chibot's salon, in that case. Even if we start preparing for the ball now, it won't be ready until autumn at the earliest, and we all know she can't attend the salon without a chaperone before then. Jolt. Your Eminence! I'm afraid I won't be attending Lady de Chibot's salon either. This heat has taken a toll on my health. My body aches, and so does my head. I wonder if I ought to have a physician take a look at me. Ugh! Must you fall ill at such an inopportune time? Your Eminence. Mother. I wouldn't dream of imposing on Mother while she's unwell. That would be so selfish of me. Oh, really? What a shame. Then I take it you won't be going. I'm sure you'll have other opportunities to meet His Highness. Actually, my lady, I'm so glad you got to go to Lady de Chibot's salon in the end. Oh? Do you have a taste for fine art, Sancha? That's not what I meant, my lady. I meant His Highness the Prince will be attending the salon today. I wonder if we should have gone for something a bit flashier, my lady. Oh, and there will be so many eligible bachelors there, like S.O. and S.O. Come now, Sancha. You're getting rather ahead of yourself. Having said that, like Sancha said, I'm grateful that I was able to attend the salon. Madame Romani, might I trouble you to attend the salon as my chaperone? It would be my pleasure, Miss Ariadne. I'd like to purchase some paintings today. The emerging artists who will be at the auction today will suddenly soar in stock next year, and within a few years, they'll become master painters in the employ of the Holy See. It would be a prudent investment, at the very least. Buy low. But most importantly, I'll get to see Victoria Nike! Victoria Nike is a statue of the ancient goddess of victory, Nike. Its sheer beauty and intact preservation lend it value beyond compare. In my previous life, it was purchased by a wealthy noble who wished to flaunt it by placing it on display in the front courtyard before the main gates of his manor. Before long, however, an excerpt from the travel journals of the ancient writer Halicardotus was discovered, in which he noted, the delicate wings of the goddess had already been damaged beyond repair, with only one wing remaining intact for display. Her head and left arm had also disappeared without a trace. Yet, the statue was left on display, as the battle scars borne by the victorious Nike, too, were worthy memorials of triumph over the grueling horrors of the Celephonic War. In other words, the version of Victoria Nike purchased by the noble was nothing but a fake. The revelation fueled the San Carlo rumor mill for quite some time, not to mention scholars who heatedly debated the authenticity of the statue. This ought to be the most entertainment I've had in a while. I do relish the drama every now and again. Announcing Lady Ariadne de Mere, the second daughter of Cardinal de Mere. Well, it's apparent who the prettier sister is. I'd say she's comely enough, no? I heard she's only Lady Isabella's half-sister. Yes, quite. I wonder where the eldest de Mere girl got her looks, when Lucrezia herself is no goddess. Well, I'm used to fending for myself by now. At least that hasn't changed since my previous life. Time to check out the table. Oh my, here comes His Highness. I'll while away the time in the garden until the auction begins. I don't want Alfonso to see me when I'm all alone with no one to keep me company. I don't want him to see me like this, Ariadne. Long time no see. It's good to see you, Alfonso. You had quite the struggle back there. Oh, it was nothing. I must admit, I didn't know you'd be here today. Might I ask who your chaperone is? Is it your mother? No, I'm being chaperoned by Madame Romani, my tutor. Excellent. And are you quite happy with your outfit this time? Yes, thank you. More so than last time, at least. I gather the same can't be said for the hairpin I sent you. Oh, thank you for such a beautiful gift. I'm afraid it didn't quite match my dress, but I'll be sure to wear it the next time we meet. I'd be honored if you would. Of course, I can't tell him that it's really not my style. What do you make of this unseasonable heat, Alfonso? It's ghastly. I find myself soaked in sweat after every fencing lesson. That's why I've taken to skipping the lessons altogether. Oh my. Look, Alfonso. Come this way. Sure, why not? The shrubs are so tall and overgrown that no one would see that we're alone. It's just the two of us. What are you thinking, Alfonso de Carlo? We're friends, nothing more. Would you care for a flower, my lady? I would, but I imagine Lady de Chibot would be none too pleased. Unless she never finds out. That's all well and good, but how do you propose I sneak it out of the mansion? It would be a shame to throw it away before I leave. Oh, I'm sure there's room under your skirt for a flower or two. Ariadne. Alfonso, come on, pick one that takes your fancy. How about this one? Isn't it pretty? Yes, quite. It's simply dazzling. I would like to begin by extending my humblest gratitude to Marquis and Marchioness de Chibot for their fabulous hospitality, to His Royal Highness Prince Alfonso de Carlo for his august presence, as well as to all of the esteemed ladies and gentlemen who have gathered here today. If you will allow me to introduce myself, I am Vincencio from the Republic of Porto. Victoria Nike certainly drew a crowd. I've never seen so many nobles in one place. First, we shall begin with these magnificent smaller pieces. I present to you this painting by one of Urbino's finest young painters, Virgin Mary of Narcissus. The bidding will commence at 5 ducats. Silence here. Oh my, I see we have a lady of discerning insight. Of course. It's the young lady from the de Mere household. We have a starting bid of 5 ducats from Cardinal de Mere's esteemed daughter. Do I hear another bid? He's a nameless painter of little renown for now, so I doubt anyone else would take an interest. But the artist will go on to become one of the Holy See's exclusive painters in a few years. For now, however, it suits me just fine that the other nobles see nothing of his future worth. 8 ducats. What? Who on earth is another conoscente in our midst? Who might this challenger be? It's none other than His Excellency Count Cesare de Como. Cesare glances and nods with that smug look. I know it well. He smiles that way whenever he finds a slight interest in someone he considers to be of little worth otherwise. 10 ducats. We have 10 ducats. Are there any more bids? Sold for 10 ducats to Lady Ariadne de Mere. Thanks to Cesare, I'm paying a much steeper price than I'd expected, but at least I achieved my goal for today. Now I'm free to sit back and watch the rest of the rat race unfold, ladies and gentlemen. Our next item on auction. None other than the fabled Victoria Nike! There it is. I've never seen another ancient work of art that has been as well preserved as this. I agree. Most marble sculptures from the Hellenian era are a shade of dull gray, whereas Victoria Nike is a lovely shade of pink. Now, I'm sure you're all doubtlessly aware of this statue's immense value, so without further ado, I will spare you from my amateurish description. The bidding will commence at 1,200 ducats. 1,200 ducats, about $90,000. Let me think. Who won the bid in my previous life? Was it Marquis Balthazar? Or perhaps it was Count Marquez? It's been so long, I can hardly remember. I shall start the bid. Huh! Alfonso? What on earth are you doing? 1,300 ducats. Count Marcello. Thank goodness. 1,500 ducats. Alfonso? Why? 1,600 ducats. 1,700 ducats. 1,800 ducats. 2,000 ducats. No. I need to do something. I can't let Alfonso win the statue. And why is that, may I ask? I'm intrigued, little lady. Pardon? I mean, according to the young lady here, one would simply be a fool to purchase that sculpture. What do you make of that, Vincencio of Porto? What? Has he lost all sense? According to the young lady here, one would simply be a fool to purchase that sculpture. What do you make of that, Vincencio of Porto? What? Has he lost all sense? Why on earth would anyone suggest something so preposterous? I'm as ignorant as you are. You'd be better off asking the young connoisseur here. Could it be that the artwork on show is a convincing counterfeit? A counterfeit? Surely I must have misheard. The Victoria Nike? A forgery? I beg your pardon. I don't recall insinuating anything of the sort. Nonsense. I just heard you saying, loud and clear, that it's a fake. Again, I never said anything like that. Pardon me, miss. I'm afraid I must ask you to explain yourself. What have I done to deserve this? You're all just a bunch of big meanies. Why are you two picking on me? I'm just a silly young girl. How am I supposed to know any better? I wish it would be that easy. But if I so readily wash my hands of the mess I've made, it'll be Alfonso who's stuck with that piece of junk. A 2,000 ducato piece of junk, at that. It's a princely sum, to be sure, but not enough to bankrupt an actual prince. Nevertheless, if word were to get around that Alfonso spent that money on a counterfeit, he would lose face before the entire kingdom. More than anything, I can't stand the thought of Alfonso becoming a laughingstock. Signor Vincenzo Delgado, I'm told you're a veteran auctioneer of antique art. If that's the case, would you care to look closely at that statue and tell me whether it appears to be the genuine Victoria Nike? Of course it is, young lady, otherwise, I would have nothing to do with it. The delicate wings of the goddess had already been damaged beyond repair, with only one wing remaining intact for display. Perhaps you might recognize this passage from Travelogue of Helenia. I certainly do, for I am no fool. It describes how the statue was damaged and then repaired, does it not? And what of it? Restoration does not equate to forgery. The restoration process also took part in the Hellenian era, and thus has no bearing on the statue's value as an antique. What do you need? A sword to challenge the man to a duel? Your club. I know you carry a club. How did you know? Signor Delgado. A broken dish pieced together remains a broken dish. Have you ever heard of that saying? Miss, are you referring to the restoration of the statue's broken wing? I'm telling you, it was during the Hellenistic era that the repair took place. Even the traces of the repair work hold historical value in themselves. Regardless, you admit that the wing was once broken in the past? Yes, but that's common knowledge for all and sundry. If that's the case, dropping a once shattered dish onto the floor ought to break the dish along the same cracks that broke it before. Creak. Thud. If the statue's wing was already broken once, it should break the same way along the exact same lines, more or less. Yet your statue seems perfectly fine, as if it's brand new. How dare you? This is outrageous. Shout. Have you lost your senses? I ask you again, is this the real Victoria Nike? She's right. It stands to reason that the same part would break. Does that make Delgado a fraud? I have a question of my own. Be careful how you answer me. Are you even the real Vincenzo Delgado? Confound it. He's a fraud. Stop him. Do not let him escape. Guards. Block the exits. Oh my! First, the young Miss de Mere thwarts the heretic of Acereto, and now she exposes a fraudster at an art auction. It's certainly unheard of for a 15-year-old to display such cutting insight. It must be a blessing from God, there's no other way. It's as if she has the eye of truth. Count de Como, I must ask you to explain yourself. I don't much appreciate being pushed into the limelight with no regard for my reputation. Just what were you thinking? Look, little lady, all's well that ends well. Am I wrong? On a further note, I do protest your familiar tone with me. I'll have you know I'm the second daughter of the cardinal for this diocese. Let me stop you right there. First of all, you have yet to make your formal debut. That makes you a child. I won't have a little girl answering back to me about the way in which I address her, especially when she's dressed in a garish little yellow frock that only a child would wear. Now look, I'm not as brash and heedless as you might be thinking, little lady. I happen to know that the real Vincenzo Delgado was found murdered before the auction. Then why not take the matter into your own hands instead of dumping it into my lap? You know as well as I do that I, the king's bastard, would be risking my neck if I were to use the crown's authority to handle the matter. No one forced you to get involved. Be that as it may, I came all this way to see you again, and it was not for idle chat. My business with you is quite simple, little lady. I will pay you most generously if you would sell the Heart of the Deep Blue Sea to me. What? Do you know of the Linville Swan? It's one of the more valuable diamonds in my collection. I propose we trade your Heart of the Deep Blue Sea for my Linville Swan, and I'll throw in 6,000 ducats on top. The Linville Swan. Of course I've heard of it. They say there's no finer gift for one's true love. That's why it was the one thing I most coveted among Cesari's possessions. Unlike in my previous life, I didn't even have to dedicate my best years, commit murder, or stake my life on his behalf. And yet the Cesare I met in this life wants to gift it to me of his own volition. Count Cesare de Como, I doubt His Majesty the King granted me the fabled sapphire just so that I could trade it with another. What? The Heart of the Deep Blue Sea was entrusted by the crown to me and none other. It's not a mere trinket to be bargained for. Not only that, I'm sorely disappointed to see that you have no notion of what's right or wrong, and what one can and cannot rightfully possess. I had hoped that you would have more discernment than that. I pray you'll come to your senses. Stop! I command you. Did you not hear me? Let go! You! What did you just say to me? I told you to let go of the lady's hand, Count de Como. Perhaps you didn't hear me. Unhand her at once, Count de Como. In fact, I can see you're quite ignorant of the proper courtesies to be observed by a gentleman to ladies and royalty alike. Come now, Count de Como. That won't do at all. A simple bow is a greeting reserved for those of prior acquaintance. However, I don't believe we've met before. Yank. Your Royal Highness. The rising sun of our kingdom. Prince Alfonso of Etruscan. Your servant extends his humble greetings. Miss de Mare, how uncanny that I should run into you again today. The Marquis and Marchioness de Chibot await your presence. Oh my, I shouldn't keep them waiting. I was about to head the same way. Please, feel free to join me. Oh, Count de Como, it was a pleasure to make your acquaintance. You may leave us. Oh, before I leave. I'm afraid the fake statue damaged the floor when it fell. I trust you'll take care of the repair costs, Your Excellency. This isn't over, you impudent little wench. I'm impressed, Ariadne. How did you know that the statue was a counterfeit? It was only an assumption. I'm relieved that my suspicions turned out to be well-founded. Indeed. I wish you'd shared those suspicions with me, then I wouldn't have bid on the damn thing. Well, I didn't know you would bid so impulsively. That's my lesson learned. On that note, why did you expose the fraud if you weren't entirely convinced? Oh. I mean, I was afraid you'd buy it. And you'd be embarrassed in public. If I'm not mistaken. Could it be that Ariadne has a soft spot for me? Thanks to me, you just saved yourself 2,000 ducats. I think you owe me a favor. Is that so? And how should I repay this favor, my lady? A lump sum of 2,000 ducats will do quite nicely. My goodness, I've found the real fraud in our midst. A wish, then. Promise me you'll grant me a wish in return. A wish? Of what kind, may I ask? I'm not sure, but I'll be certain to call it in at the most opportune moment. Fine. As you wish. Ha! I ought to head back in for now. They'll be looking for me. Take care, Alfonso. I suppose I won't see him again for a while. I wonder when our paths will cross again. Ariadne! I'll write to you. Promise me you'll write back. Of course. A few days later, Ariadne. This is a task that would customarily fall upon your mother, but I'm entrusting it to you. You will be in charge of organizing your own debutante ball. My debutante ball? However, your budget will be 150 ducats. You must arrange your debutante ball with only the money I've granted you. What? 150 ducats? That's barely half the usual budget for a ball. Yes, father. Fortunately, I have my previous life's experience in managing the royal palace's budget. Bookkeeping is my second nature by now. I'm so grateful. A tea party hosted by the daughter of Viscount Leonat. Miss de Mayor, are you enjoying the tea I've prepared for today? Oh, well, I suppose so. Perhaps you'd care for these sweets. They're quite delectable. I'm afraid I only have a taste for sweets imported from Gallico. Uninterested. How tedious. Oh my, how rude of me to forget. Letitia de Leonati, the daughter of Viscount de Leonat, bring the finest Gallican sweets we have. Right away, my lady. He's rather easy on the eyes, and yet good looks are wasted on those of low birth. I wonder if I might find a more entertaining way to spend my time. How dreamy. My dear Camellia! How can you possibly sit next to your poor fiancé and make eyes at Il Domestico at the same time? Il Domestico, a male servant tasked with greeting and tending to noble guests, often a tall, handsome man who is paid handsomely. Pardon? I don't know what you mean. Ottavio, and you, poor Ottavio, you handsome Adonis. There's no need for you to take any notice of the help. Indeed, Camellia ought to thank her lucky stars that she's betrothed to a real man like you. Why? Miss de Mayor. Isabella. Call me Isabella, sweet Ottavio. I'd rather you knew me for my own name rather than my family's. Then perhaps I shall. That should teach her that I'm the most coveted woman in all of San Carlo. My lady, Miss Julia de Baltazar has arrived. Julia de Baltazar, daughter of Marquis de Baltazar. Miss de Baltazar, welcome to the Leonati household. Please join us. It's a pleasure to have you here, Signorina Julia. What does Julia de Baltazar have that I lack? Why should she be addressed by her name while I'm merely an accessory to that of my father? I'm sick of bearing the de Mayor name. Once time passes, so does my father, it'll no longer belong to me, but to my brother. Thankfully, there is still one way that I can bask in all the glory I deserve in my own right. If it means that my name will truly be my own one day, I'll do anything I can to seize my rightful place. Just as I suspected, it's quite a conundrum to organize a ball using only half the usual budget. My lady, Madame Marini from Dressmaker Radjin is here to see you. Raise your arms a tad higher, Miss de Mayor. You have such striking and well-defined natural features. A touch of makeup and you'll be known all over for your beauty. I appreciate your flattery, but I would still prefer a more subdued look for my dress. I have no need for gaudy ornaments, and I'd like my skin to be as well hidden as possible. Have the neckline cover all the way up to my collarbones. In my previous life, I was accused of lewdness if I wore anything with a plunging neckline, and disdained as a tasteless boor if I dressed with even a hint of extravagance. In this life, I don't wish to hear any such slander. Absolutely not. Shout. I must protest. You have a voluptuous figure that is a blessing upon this earth, and you must not shy away from it. You'll cut a much more comely figure with a decently exposed décolletage. She's right, miss. Begging your pardon, miss, but you have such lovely collarbones and a petite face, and your neck isn't so long. Covering it all up would only make you look stuffy. Oh my, you have an eye for fashion, girl. I'm learning from the best, ma'am. Oh, I see. If you both insist, then I suppose I ought to take your advice. Madame Marini, I leave the matter to your capable discretion. I won't let you down, my lady. I swear on my name, no one will look even half as ravishing as you at your debutante ball. Your partner won't be able to take his eyes off you. My partner? The prince is my partner at the ball? Preposterous! Wake up, Ariadne! Miss de Mayor, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Zenobi de Rossi, your partner for the ball today. Since you have no suitable acquaintance in high society, I took it upon myself to invite a young relative of mine. It's a stellar mansion you've got here, Auntie. To think you've been living it up this whole time, and we were all none the wiser. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. Oh, so it's you. You're the young lady that I'm taking to the ball. Don't you fret, little mouse. Just follow my lead, and I'll take good care of you. Speaking of which, you're far too tall for my liking. Why would you wear heels when you're already quite the Amazonian? Let me give you a piece of advice. Listen carefully. I know it's a fad among girls these days to draw attention to themselves with those ghastly high-heeled shoes, but nothing could be quite so inconsiderate. In fact, it's a woman's duty to elevate her man to the spotlight he deserves. Now that's a woman worth a second glance. On the day of the ball, I expect to see you in a winsome pair of flat shoes, that is, unless you're just like those other foolish girls your age. You know, I consider myself a patient woman, but I feel that a line has been crossed. You read my mind, my lady. The line was crossed a mile back. There's only one thing I can do. I don't see any other way. I have to ask him for help, my dear, wonderful Ariadne. I trust you returned home safely. The palace gardens are positively teeming with hydrangeas, which led me to thoughts of you. I hope that our meeting will take place sooner rather than later. Yours, dear Alfonso, my dear friend. It seems I must call in my favor rather soon. Would you care to be my partner for my ball? I have yet to find a partner for my own debutante ball. You see, I would be rather inconvenienced if I'm unable to find a suitable partner by then. I shall apprise you of my situation another time. Yours, Ariadne. Dear Ariadne, you may save your wish for a more arduous task than to be your dance partner. Tell me the time and place, and I shall be there. I can't recall ever receiving such unconditional kindness before. In my previous life, whenever I gave my love and kindness freely, I was repaid in betrayal and manipulation. Alfonso may be sincere in his intentions, but I do question whether I'm deserving of his kindness at all. I hear the Demare girl plans to hold a debutante ball soon. The word is she'll be partnered by Lucrezia de Rossi's nephew. I can't imagine he's a man of any substance. You'll be by far his superior, without a doubt. Wouldn't you agree, my dear boy? I'm quite aware of what you're trying to say, mother. Let us leave it at that, shall we? Come now, Cesare. Don't be so stubborn and listen to your mother. A king must have a clever and capable queen by his side too. I said this conversation is over. The girl is hardly royalty with a line to the throne. Marrying her brings me no closer to the crown, if at all. Not only that, I find the little pipsqueak irritating beyond words. Oh? Well, I did not raise you to come whining to me about some girl that you couldn't sweet talk. You have no one to blame for your failure but yourself. In any case, I won't swallow my pride for such a trifling matter, not even if my life is at stake. Only a frightened little boy would concede without a fight. My, how pathetic you've become. Enough, mother. Unbelievable. Where does he get such a foul temperament from? The boy never heeds a word I say. Mark my words, try as he might, I'll get my way. In all my years in this kingdom, not once have I failed to achieve something I put my mind to. Just you watch, my son. Is that true? You mean she really had a dress made by Rajan? Yes, miss. I heard that Madame Marini from dressmaker Rajan came by the other day. Well, I do wonder where she gets the gall. I suppose she needs the finest dressmaker to make something presentable of her unseemly countenance. I'd say it works out quite nicely, my lady. With that lovely white dress you had fitted, I'm sure you'll be the star of the ball. Don't you have something a little lighter in shade? Perhaps something in ivory or alabaster white. Pardon me, Miss de Mere. Didn't you say you'll be wearing this dress to your sister's debutante ball? I don't mean to cast aspersions, but it's customary for the debutante and her partner to be the only ones dressed in white. I wish she'd simply do as I say. I pay her to sew pretty dresses, not meddle in my affairs. Well, you see, it's my sister's special request. She wanted us to wear matching white dresses to her debutante ball. It was her idea, not mine. You'd be hard-pressed to find a pair of sisters as close as we are. Not that I have any doubt I'll outshine everyone there, but just in case, I want to make absolutely sure that no one will spare a glance for my sister. Oh, I know. I could spill a load of wine over her dress. No! That'll only inspire sympathy. I want the opposite, if anything. Of course. I remember you telling me that Ariadne uses padding for her bosom. That she does, my lady. I once saw that klutz Sancha sneaking out cotton bandages from Miss Ariadne's room. There's no reason why Miss Ariadne would have bandages like those except to fix her bosom pads in place. Perfect. I have a cunning plan. The day of the debutante ball. There you go. You look utterly dazzling, my lady. I can't tell which shines brighter, you or the dress. Oh my! I appreciate the flattery, Sancha, but I'm afraid you'll fool me into believing it. More importantly, is it just me, or is the dress rather loose around the chest? Did you do anything different with the chest bindings? They don't feel as tight as usual. There's no fooling you, my lady. I made them a little looser than usual to complement the fit. I don't know why you're always trying to hide your curves, my lady. Besides, Maria over here gave me a little something to use for the debutante ball. Hooks. I tried adding these hooks to the bindings. Apparently, they're normally used for keeping bosom pads in place. Not that you need bosom pads, quite the opposite. And since you don't need to tie the bindings anymore, there's no need to worry about the knots showing through the dress. Is that so? That's right, miss. She's a smart one, our Maria. Huh. And not at all. Miss Ariadne, your partner has arrived. Turn, Alfonso. Now then. Wish me luck, Alfonso. Ariadne. Did I keep you waiting? Not at all. I just arrived myself. You look stunning. As graceful as the fabled Queen Guinevere. Oh, please, flattery will get you nowhere. 'Tis no flattery. You truly are radiant. Make haste, Ariadne. I don't have all day. Well, what do we have here? Surely you jest, Ariadne. You mean to replace me with this pretty boy? I hoped you know better than to judge a book by its cover. How foolish of you to let your eyes wander from your knight in shining armor. Oh, and by the by, didn't I tell you never to wear shoes with high heels? Be a good girl and change out of them. She won't be doing anything of the sort, since she already has a partner. You've got some nerve. Do you have any idea who I am? Make a move, if you dare. Gah! You filthy crook! How dare you point a sword at a man of my stature? Cousin Zenobi, please introduce yourself. You're in the presence of Etruscan's heir. His Highness Prince Alfonso de Carlo. What? I, Zenobi de Rossi of Harini, humbly offer my utmost respect, Your Highness. I had no earthly idea that you would grace us with your presence. I beg your mercy, Your Highness. I deeply regret any offense I've caused. It seems your apology is directed at my title and nothing more. Pardon? You threatened an innocent lady who has committed no wrongdoing, and proceeded to assault a complete stranger, and despite such boorish behavior, I imagine you'd show no remorse were I not a prince. Now you will apologize to Miss de Mare. And my apologies. Ariadne. Tell her what it is exactly that you're apologizing for. That's enough. The lady and I both hope you've learned something from today. Now leave us. Highness. I mean, Your Highness. I'm honored by your mercy. Why do you seem so outraged? If anything, I should have been the one feeling indignant. Ariadne, is this how you're treated in your own home? You don't have to stand for this. Remember, you're Ariadne, a true wonder of the world, Alfonso. Oh, by the way, I hope I didn't ruin your hair by sweeping back that strand. Pfft. Ariadne. Distinguished guests, please extend a warm welcome to my second eldest, the star of this evening's debutante ball. I must say, her beauty rivals her older sister's. Her partner is so dashing. I wonder who he is. Oh my, if I'm not mistaken. Isn't that His Highness, Prince Alfonso? How dare she? She never even leaves the house. How did she seduce the prince? Presenting a royal congratulatory message from His Majesty. What? What's going on? Your guess is as good as mine. I never told father and mother that I would be attending. Bow, Cesare? What's he doing here? He must be up to something, Hark, all subjects of the Etruscan kingdom. Today is the debutante ball of Ariadne de Mere, the second daughter of the esteemed Cardinal de Mere. Lady Ariadne de Mere is a woman of devout faith whose service to the kingdom should be evident to all. As such, I welcome her into adulthood with my most heartfelt congratulations, and designate as her partner for the debutante ball the Honorable Count Cesare de Como. Cesare as my partner? Thanks to my mother, I now have to take care of that uppity brat. Damn it! Huh! Well. How fascinating. What do we have here? The rising sun of our kingdom, as I live and breathe. Forgive me if I forgot the formal greetings, Your Highness, since I'm here today as an agent of His Majesty the King. And on that matter, it seems that I've been instructed by His Majesty himself to be this fine young lady's debutante partner. Miss de Mere, come with me, if you please. The King commands, and we must obey. Is there a problem? I trust you'll be just fine from here, Ariadne. I hope to see you again soon. Take care. She cleans up rather nicely. I'm surprised. She has a decent figure to boot. These past few weeks have been dreadfully slow, Ariadne. Well, a promise is a promise. I suppose I ought to treat you like a lady from now on. Yes, and you'll address me as Miss de Mere. She's certainly got pluck, I'll give her that. She's not like most women. But more importantly, she's Alfonso's love interest. Oh, how thrilling it would be to steal her for myself. Then I shall eagerly await the day when we'll be better acquainted. Miss de Mere. Clack. Thwack. Shatter. Turn. What's going on? Was the prince trying to ask Isabella for a dance? He must have bumped into the vase because he was so nervous. I guess even princes get flustered in the presence of great beauties. Not to worry, Your Highness. Let's just say you were asking me to dance. Oh, but hurry, Your Highness. Everyone's watching. Are you enjoying the ball? Indeed, it's been delightful. You're quite the skilled dancer. I learned from my tutor, Maestro Lorivaldo. And have you noticed how unique the decorations are? I let my dear sister Ariadne choose them. Just as I expected. He might be a prince, but he's not immune to a woman's wiles. Miss de Mere. Yes, Your Highness? I must confess, I'm rather impressed by your sister. I find her creativity and intellect deeply intriguing. What? Come on. I need it to happen right this second. And when it does, the prince will forget all about Ariadne and turn his gaze towards me instead. Ariadne! Alfonso! I thought you might have left already. Oh, I wouldn't dare dream of leaving before I share a waltz with the debutante. Perfect timing. The waltz is just about to begin. Then will you honor me with this dance, my lady? Gladly. I hope Count de Como treated you with respect. He was uncharacteristically gentlemanly this evening. Did you find another partner for your first dance? I did. Your sister was gracious enough to dance with me. I see. She's quite the beauty, isn't she? San Carlo's finest enchantress, whose mere presence leaves men breathless and witless. It's no surprise that even Alfonso is smitten with her. Is that so? I can't say I noticed, other than that she bears little resemblance to you. But everyone remarks on how radiant my sister is. Really? Well, I suppose she does look somewhat different from most. More importantly, is it true that you decorated tonight's ball yourself? Yes, this was all my work. Spin. Then I should congratulate you on your impeccable taste. Ha! Thank you. Did the front of her dress just tear open? My goodness, her bosom is out for the entire ball to see. Ha! What a sight! Excuse me, passing through. There might be other ladies in the powder room. Is there another room you can use? Second floor. Take me to my room. My lady. What happened? I'll fetch your dressing gown. And hurry. Bring Miss Ariadne a change of clothes. Are you all right, Ariadne? Actually, he said your shoulders were so broad that it felt like he was holding a man. Your sable hair is so dark and lank like a crow. And your breasts are so heavy and unsightly, like a cow's udder. How pathetic that she would latch on to a man like a leech. Shameless. Just what one might expect from the offspring of a lowly maid. She seduced Count Cesare with her bosom on display like a common whore. How humiliating. I don't know what to do. Flutter. Hug. Don't cry, Ariadne. It's okay. Everything's going to be all right. It's okay. There's nothing to worry about. Are you feeling a little better now? Do you think everyone saw? Only for a split second. Besides, I'd wager they all thought it was simply a fashion statement. In fact, it's become rather modish among the more mature ladies to wear their neckline low. They must have thought it was so unseemly. Unseemly? What do you mean? My chest, why you were stunning. That's why I covered you with my cape. I didn't want anyone else to see. I wanted to keep her. Your beauty to myself. Alfonso. I've been in here for too long. I ought to grant you some privacy so you can rest. HM? Oh. I am a gentleman above all else. I must suppress these urges. How did the dress tear right down the front? I suppose the dressmaker is to blame for the poor finish. How dreadful. The poor girl. I thought it would be her bosom pads that spilled out when her dress tore open. I wasn't expecting her actual breasts to be on display. I managed to humiliate her, but now everyone sympathizes with her. I have to do something. Did she perhaps rip her own dress open to flaunt her voluptuousness? I'm afraid my dear sister has always been unduly proud of her figure. I knew she was prone to do anything to invite attention. But I had no idea just how desperate she was. Gosh. Surely not. I suppose such a stunt could be her way of making an impression. On that note, am I the only one who feels that this entire ball was excessive? Who does Miss Ariadne think she is? Unlike her sister here. She seems to have quite the inflated sense of vanity. It was the same thing at the great chapel. Miss Ariadne does seem to revel in attention. She went as far as to invite the prince as her partner tonight. I wonder how she managed that little trick. Perfect. This is it. I'm sure she had her way of seducing His Highness. More. Ugh, she's as vulgar as her roots. More. The way she seems to flaunt her chest. I imagine seducing the prince was easy work for her. Have you no shame? What proof do you have that she tore her dress on purpose? You all saw how upset Miss Ariadne was. How can you stand there and claim she orchestrated this ghastly affair? Why is the prince so eager to take Ariadne's side? No matter. I can still turn this situation to my advantage. Your Highness. That was hardly my intent. Miss Isabella? This is all but a simple misunderstanding. Are you seeing this? His Highness just made Lady de Mere cry. How ungentlemanly of him, lashing out at a young lady like that. He must have given the poor girl such a fright. WWE meant no offense. Now, Your Highness, it's time for you to reach out and comfort this poor damsel in distress. Miss de Mere? What's the matter? Good, come closer. Comfort me while everyone looks on. Announcing Lady Ariadne de Mere. Ariadne. Sister, are those tears I see? What could you possibly have to cry about? Ariadne. Oh, there was a most awful misunderstanding with His Highness. He accused me of maligning you in public. Can you believe it? All I said was that, despite your little accident earlier, you might even say it turned out for the better, since it served to accentuate your figure. And my, what a stunning figure you have. Hold on, that's not what you said, sister. Yes, Ariadne? How could you speak of my body so callously? What? I find that sort of talk quite abhorrent. You ought to know that better than anyone. I hardly think it's a compliment at all. I never wanted my body to be the topic of idle gossip. It sickens me to be stared at like a piece of meat. I cannot stand it. Gosh, the poor girl, She must have been ogled by all manner of rotten brigands. How could her own sister gossip about her so heedlessly? It seems unconscionable, even for a jealous half-sister. That's not true. It's all a misunderstanding. I may be the half-sister that you never wanted, but I don't deserve to be treated this way. All I've ever done is try to be a good sister to you. Ariadne. Panic. I can explain. Wait. I suppose it was a barefaced lie that those two wore matching white dresses out of sisterly affection. Freeze. I suspect so. Did you hear what Isabella said earlier? She implied that her sister tore her dress open on purpose to attract attention. Good Lord, I never expected her to be quite so spiteful. The stairway behind the banquet hall. Hey! Stop right there. Do you hear me? Stop, you devious little wagtail. Apologize for that show you put on back there. You've never mentioned that you hate drawing attention to your bosom. That's a lie, and you know it. I won't have you tarnishing my good name. You worthless whore, how dare you repay my kindness with such spite? Shut your mouth, you shameless bitch, or I might just slit your throat. What? You're not the only one who can curse. Careful, sister. Remember that there's only a thin wall that separates your bedroom from mine. I'll make you regret this. That evil tramp. She's got some pluck, challenging me like that. Well, I won't back down so easily either. I have countless friends at my disposal. What's the matter? You'll never believe this. Oh my, Isabella, I'll make sure she becomes the pariah of high society. Are you all right? Poor Isabella. It was Ariadne who asked me to wear a white dress just like hers. I don't understand why she would pretend that it wasn't. I lent her my clothes, helped her settle into San Carlo, and even helped her with her studies. Was that not enough? What did I do wrong? I suspect she betrayed you for the prince's affections. She must have been jealous. It's quite obvious she tore her own dress open. Judging by how His Highness took her side with no hesitation, perhaps she's already seduced him into sin. Miss de Mere, your chest padding seems to be slipping out. Ah! You, deceitful little snakes! Miss Ariadne, I am Julia, the first daughter of Marquis Balthazar. Signorina Julia. I'm thinking of hosting a tea party at my family's manor next week. I wonder if you might grace us with your presence. In my previous life, women my age never sought to befriend me first. I can hardly believe I'm being invited to a tea party. I would be delighted, Miss Balthazar. I'm looking forward to it already.